Jaime Loizzo. I'm one of the board members of the DC State Fair, and I wanted to thank you guys for joining us today for this virtual showcase of some of DC's most talented artists, entrepreneurs, and urban farmers. Although we can't be in person, I did want to bring a little urban farming to you guys today. This is my garden, and I am one of the many individuals who has used this pandemic to see if I can grow my own hyper-local food in the DC area. And as you can probably already see, I have made plenty of mistakes. My kale has been destroyed by bugs. My cucumber plants are non-existent because they've been taken away by squirrels early on in the season. And I planted my tomatoes way too close together this year. Despite all my challenges and honestly a lack of knowledge, I've still had plenty of tomatoes and greens to be able to share with my neighbors. And one thing I did want to share today is how I was able to troubleshoot a problem. If you see all those white bags, those are actually reusable produce bags. I've been able to go from tomatoes like this to tomatoes like this, and you're gonna have to kind of ignore all that splitting there. That is because I cannot remember to water my tomato plants every day. So the bags are super easy. I'm gonna see if I can do it with one hand and still hold my camera. You basically take the bag and slip it over either a group of tomatoes or a single tomato, and then pull the string good and tight. Again, two hands, better than one, to keep out your squirrels, your insects, and all your favorite neighborhood birds. But if you don't have a reusable produce bag, that's fine. You can use a sock that lost his buddy in the dryer, or actually old ripped pantyhose, and you just gently slip them over one of your tomatoes. So I hope this little trick can help some of you out with your tomato plants, whether they're sitting on an apartment balcony or in a front or backyard garden like I have. Thanks again for joining us today. We hope you guys stick around this afternoon. We still have a lot of great activities and fabulous DC residents to showcase. We're going to end the evening tonight with some awesome DC trivia. And please know that everyone here at the DC State Fair Board is counting the days till we can celebrate the district in person next year. So mark your calendars for September 11th and 12th next year at St. Elizabeth's at DC Gateway Pavilion.
Hi everyone, this is Oana from the DC State Fair Board, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite spots in my neighborhood here in Chevy Chase. This is Little Red Fox. They're a wonderful neighborhood cafe. They've been an absolute lifesaver during quarantine. They have a really great no contact system set up that they've continued even after they're allowed to have people come in. They not only have great breakfast items, including absolutely delicious croissants and hot chocolate, but they also have produce and even frozen food. So check them out next time here in Chevy Chase.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Buechner, and I'm on the board of the DC State Fair. I lived in Ward 3 for almost 7 years now, but grew up in Wisconsin, right next to a farm, and spent a lot of time as a kid running through the woods and playing outside. Living in Ward 3 is great because there's constant reminders of agriculture right here in DC, both past and present. I'm here at Pierce Mill, a mill that was once used to grind corn, wheat, and barley up until the late 1800s. Over the years, the mill has been in various states of disrepair and working order. In the late 1800s, the US government actually bought the mill to add it to Rock Creek Park. There used to be 8 mills along Rock Creek, but this is the last one standing. Pierce Mill is also a great place to have a socially distanced picnic with friends, or catch a trail into Rock Creek Park for a day of hiking. But if you're looking for somewhere a little closer to Connecticut Avenue, you can try the Melvin Hazen Community Garden. There's a park right next to it, and the community garden offers great opportunities to see flowers and other vegetables that folks are planting. Community gardens are in every ward in DC, and they extend back for almost a century. Victory gardens are community gardens that the US government encouraged residents to use to grow their own vegetables in times of food insecurity during World War II. There are victory gardens and community gardens all around DC. And in Ward 3, we have a number of great community gardens that folks in the community can use. There are two in Glover Park that have been around since the 40s, and the Melvin Hazen Community Garden is also a victory garden. There's a newer garden up by the National Cathedral that's huge and is a great opportunity to grow fruits and vegetables of your own. Residents are also trying to house a colony of bees at the Newark Street Community Garden to help increase the number of pollinators that we have here in DC. What parts of DC that showcase agriculture are your favorites? And what have you been able to grow this year? Make sure to share it with us at DC State Fair and hashtag DC Agriculture. We'd love to see it.
Hi, I'm Regina, DC State Fair board member and chair of the Education Committee. During the pandemic, it's been really tough and hard for us to process, but I think we've been making the best of it. So I'm giving you a glimpse of some of the things that I like to do while social distancing and still trying to maintain space. So I'm here at the DC waterfront, my favorite space to visit. Lots of outdoor space and an opportunity for me to play bocce. Many know that bocce is my favorite sport. It's something that I like to do. Whether it's indoors or outside, I try to find a way to play as often as I can. Now we move to another area of the park where you can spend some quiet times, quiet moments, and reflect on life in general. Here's the Titanic statue. Many people paid an ultimate price and they weren't even aware of it at the time, and it just shows how precious life is. So I like to sit over here in the shade and just spend a moment just thinking about life in general. And during a pandemic, I think it gives you a great opportunity to just cherish life. There's one more spot I'd like to show you before we end this tour, and that's the DC Southwest Duck Pond. I like to come out in the mornings and exercise, and then later in the afternoon and feed the ducks. One little tidbit, you might not have known that you should not feed ducks bread because it's unhealthy for them. They'll start gaining weight and then they'll be too heavy to fly away and do all their duckly duties. So instead, you should feed them oats and corn and frozen peas or even quinoa. So there you go, tip for the day. I hope you enjoyed my quick tour of some of my favorite places and things to do in the district while quarantined. Now, when I'm not busy keeping the streets hot, you can find me right here in front of my command center. This is where the magic happens. I work from home and I also volunteer for several amazing nonprofits in the district, notably DC State Fair. I was honored when the board selected me to be a member of the board 2 years ago, and I've been riding the wave ever since. And I'm truly looking forward to another year. But let's get back to my command center. Yes, I have 5 screens because I work with fancy people and I need to keep up. And also because I want to attend 5 state fairs at the same time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to make sure you're still paying attention. I truly appreciate you joining us this year for this fair. I know this is not what we've been looking for, but hey, we've got to make the best of it. So hopefully next year it'll be in person, but if not, you know we've got this virtual thing on lock. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much and stay resilient.
Hi, I'm Erin Looney. I'm the PR chair for the DC State Fair. I moved to Washington in 2017 from Florida, and I noticed 2 things right away. Number 1, it's not unpleasant to be outside here. And number 2, I chose a really great neighborhood. I live right on Rock Creek Park, and around me is a seemingly endless network of really fun trails to hike. So I leashed up Dusty LeBron James, and we started exploring. Now, it took him a little while to get used to crossing the creeks, but once he did, he's unstoppable now. We really came to rely on access to the woods when the pandemic hit in March. It's great exercise, it's free, and you can stay socially distanced when you do it. But still, over time, the same trails started to get boring. Then I started to notice brightly colored rocks along our hikes. Now, painting and hiding rocks is nothing new, but this was the first opportunity I had to get involved. So I made my own rocks. First, they were pretty random. And then over time, I started to build sets. I did veggies and fruit, which wasn't really that popular. Mostly within a couple days, the rocks just disappear. But then, when I did the Avengers, something magical happened. I saw one of my rocks on Instagram, and it wasn't even me who posted it. I got to talking to the person who did post and found out the Avengers have moved all around the area. If you find yourself in Soapstone Valley, Melvin Hazen, Klingel Valley, or Western Ridge, chances are you could run into Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Hawkeye, or Captain America. Keep your eyes open too, because the other ones will be out as soon as I find the time to finish them. Make sure if you decide to make your own rocks that you only use environmentally friendly, non-toxic paint, and that you don't disturb natural formations of rocks. Make sure you share on social media with #RockCreekRocks. And if there's a rock set you might like to find, let me know. I hope all of you have found your own way to try to separate the days, because without my hikes, I'm not sure I would know what year it is.